We were talking about inductive and deductive approach, where we talked a little bit about deductive approach. In deductive approach, we know a certain phenomena, right? And then we, conclude about our topic or our research thing. For example, we know that the average height of girls, maybe in India, is 5'2", for example, right? So, and whatever sample we take, and we find that the height of in a particular region, the height of the girl is maybe you take a northeast region, so you find around 5. So that means we had a general phenomena that the height of the girls is 5'2", and from where we are deducing our result that अगर कोई girl है, हम बोलते हैं the girl is of average height. So वहां पर we understand that the height of the girl, if it is not given, still we tend to assume that the height of the girl between 5 feet to 5.2 or 5.3, something like that. Because एक deduction हमने बनाया, because 6 feet height for a girl is not very normal in humankind, right? This is called deductive approach. Now, in reverse to that, we have inductive approach. In inductive approach, you can see a picture where a female is, checking a rice, and only basis of only the state of one rice, it we assume that if one rice is so, then all the rice will be so. We never try to press each and every rice of the bowl. We just sample check it, and then we give a conclusion about the whole population. This is called inductive approach. In real life, actually, we never we sometimes we are inductive in nature, and sometimes we are deductive in nature, and we both use both approaches simultaneously. Let's see an example. A manager may notice that frequent price promotions of a product have a negative effect on product sales. Based on this observation, the manager may wonder why price promotion have a negative instead of positive. Now look at this particular line. A manager may notice that frequent price promotion of a product have a negative impact on product sales. So what he found, that whenever he was giving the price promotion, he was observing some kind of negative impact. While through deductive approach, we know that price promotion have always a positive effect. So because of deduction, he could think that why this problem is occurring, right? Instead of positive effect on sales, interviews with customers indicate that frequent price promotion have a negative effect on sales, because frequent price promotion negatively affect the reputation or image of the product. Based on these interview, the manager develops a new theory about why price promotion have a negative effect on sales. अब यहाँ पर through this interview, that means through that sample, he came to know about other things also, other phenomena also, कि maybe it is not true in case of branded product, right? So यहाँ पर because of inductive thing, right, and using the inductive approach, they deduce a theory that in case of branded product or or high profile products or esteemed products, maybe luxury products, regular this price discount is not a good thing. For example, if you get regular discount on Apple phones or Mercedes and Louis Vuitton or any Rolex watches, if you get continuous slashes on prices on these brands, you may doubt about the either quality or their performance as a company. You think that might be this company is going to shut down, or they are clearing their products or something like that. So it won't give a good idea about that company, right? Just hold for a second. Okay, So this was related to, and you can see from this example that based on both deductive approach and inductive approach in a single example, a researcher or a manager arrived to some decisions, right? So in real life, we are working on both approaches simultaneously. It's not that research will be based on only one approach. So that depends upon many things and many situations. Now, moving forward to the last topic of our second unit, it is types of research design. Now, research design, if we talk very theoretically, what is research design? Basically, research design is the blueprint of the total work which we are going to do, right? जैसे हम plan बनाते हैं, whenever we are constructing a building, we make a plan. Similarly, research design is the plan, how we are going to do, what we are going to do, when we are going to do. So all these minute details are the part of research design, right? Now, research design can be classified into broadly two types, right? I'm sure you are able to see. Just give me 1 second, okay? Some important point. Sorry, some urgent work came in. Okay. So the thing is that this is regarding types of research design, where broadly there are two classifications. One is exploratory research design and second one is conclusive research design. And within conclusive research design, we have two types of research design, that is descriptive research design and causal research design, right? And again, we have further classification about each type of research design. So we will not go very deep into these designs for types because it is not, of much interest at your stage. But definitely, I'll be telling you broadly what is this all research design about. So first, we start with the exploratory research design. Naam say, with the name only, we are able to tell something. Exploratory means we are trying to find out something. You know, in exploratory research design, the basic idea is that the researcher has not, has not experienced that phenomena, but we are making certain kind of observation or some kind of future predictions or something like that we are making about. For example, if I say, how would be the education sector after COVID? Now when I'm doing these kind of research, what would be the future of education industry after COVID? Now this comes under exploratory, right? We don't know actually what would be there, but we are, through experts and through other things, we are going to tell people that the research would be of this thing, education sector will transform these changes, or for that matter, if I want to say that how tourism sector will be changed, किस तरह का tourism लोग future में करेंगे, or maybe home culture, these offices, these jobs. So these all are exploratory. These provide insights and understanding about the future phenomena which has not yet occurred, but we are trying to explore what it could be, right? While in conclusive research, we specify, we work on specific hypotheses and we examine certain relationship, and then we say, okay, this relationship exists, this is the how people think, this is the perception. So basically conclusive is more about present scenario and exploratory is more about future scenarios, right? Characteristics may the information is little loosely. Right now, if I ask my principal, or you also ask when the colleges will open, or maybe somebody will say now would be now more work for home would be there, since ecosystem has been already prepared for the work from home. Will people go to office like Facebook? If you know that they have said that full time, for the whole life, we will not call people at offices, right? So maybe some companies right now making such kind of announcement, or maybe they can change later on, or how they are going to shift, whether they will be having small offices rather than big offices. This is all tentative right now, right? So whatever information we have very loose information, it's very specific. We try to observe certain phenomena, and then on the basis of that, we give some kind of conclusion, or maybe using our expertise and insights, we develop certain kind of phenomena. While in conclusive research, and conclusive means descriptive as well as experimentation, the information is clearly defined. These are the question and these are the answer, like scale per when we get the answer, right? If I'm saying that I have this income, so it is very clearly defined. Now, one example could be how much people will earn in future, or maybe is there any difference in pay packages when we are doing work from home? So it would be exploratory. Descriptive means what is the pay packages right now in corona times. So it is a kind of descriptive research. Then finding and results may, all the findings are tentative. Of course, when we are not available with the right information or the clear-cut information, all the finding would be tentative only. While in conclusive research, the findings are conclusive. We say, yes, this happened. If we are saying that this is the pay package, so this is the pay package. Outcome is the generally followed by the further exploratory of conclusive research. That means we exploratory study always leave a room to undertake the exploratory or conclusive research in future, while in conclusive research findings you will just input into decision making. So these are the broad differences between conclusive research and exploratory research. If we go back to classification, under exploratory also, it's not written here, but there are many other kind of types. Like one is focus group under exploratory only. So there are different methods based on which exploratory study can be done. Either we can, either we can be dependent on primary study, primary data, or on the basis of secondary data. So primary data sources are either we can go for focus group, case study, observation method, interview method, and survey method. So I have talked about these methods during my last lecture, so I may not go in detail about these methods. While secondary data includes all the internal and external sources from a company. And what could these sources be? Like company records, employee records, sales record, financial records. And other than these designated records, there are different reporting and filing which companies does. So any kind of information depending upon the data which we want to do, or depending upon the study which we want to do, a researcher can collect information from any record, any source. Second are the external sources, where government sources, non-government sources, syndicated data sources, or other sources can be a part of external sources from where the researcher can connect the information to explore the finding. For example, now external sources में you can say government data है कोविड के ऊपर, कितनी डेथ्स हुई, या हॉस्पिटल की कितनी सिचुएशन है, कितने बेड्स अवेलेबल हैं, क्या है, उसके बेसिस पर somebody is making judgment, right? मे बी कितने लोगों का जॉब गया, एम्प्लॉयमेंट एक्सचेंज में कितने लोगों ने रजिस्टर किया, something like that. That information can be used. Or maybe कोई एनजीओ ने कोई सर्वे किया, so that is called syndicated data sources. Syndicated means कहीं पेड फॉर्म में कोई कंपनी अपना सर्वे करा दे, तो वो syndicated data sources हो गए. So these are different sources which researcher can use, can collect, can interpret for the purpose of answering his question. And these all the information or all the studies based on these data are come under the category of exploratory. Right. Now, second is I'll tell you something in detail about the observation method, about which we have not covered much earlier. Now, observation method can also be done, observation method is one of the exploratory study, first of all. And is observation, researchers simply observe their data frames, right? Data frames means the people on which they are conducting a study. Now, under observation method, there are one is format, the second is level of awareness. Now, these are different types or methods of observation only. So first is based on format, where the first one is structured and second one is unstructured. Structure means there is a method in your observation also, that you are standing at a particular bank at a particular place to see the banking habit of people, how many are visiting ATM, how much time they are spending, are they struggling with entering the pin, or are they very smooth, are they looking for the help while they are active, using the ATM. So these all things you can observe, but this is structured format. Unstructured format is that you are going somewhere, you saw a ATM, then you are visiting somewhere else, and then you saw a ATM. So no structure is there. At any point of time you are going, at any point of time you are coming. So this is unstructured. Now, level of awareness means disguised observation and undisguised observation. Disguised observation means the observant, means the people are not aware that we are being watched, while in undisguised observation, people are, people have full knowledge that they are being watched, they are under the camera or in the eyes, and the permission is taken from these people. Many marketing companies does this kind of, observation, and they put camera in the houses of the people who agree to be the sample for the company, and they see the behavior, how people spend time, spend their leisure time. Maybe a company is interested in knowing that, right? How much time people watch TV, what are their eating habits. Maybe different cameras are put at different places, and that awareness is done. Now, based on setting of the environment, the first is